What's up, guys? I'm Joe. Today I'm talking about the new Beck album, Colors. So, Beck is back with his 13th studio album, Colors. 13 is quite a lot. Beck is an artist that I became more familiar with a couple years ago. I'd always known of him. I knew the song Loser, obviously, and a couple more of those earlier singles from him, but it's not an artist I ever thought to really follow up on. That was, of course, until 2014's Morning Phase, which was a huge album for him. He won a Grammy over Beyonce, which caused a lot of controversy for people. But I checked out the album and I was pretty surprised because my notion of Beck was the song Loser, pretty much. So hearing this folky, indie, psychedelic kind of album was pretty surprising for me. So I took the trip through his discography from that point and, just found a lot of great stuff and found that he's an artist that actually has had a lot of musical identities throughout his career. My personal favorite was Sea Change. That's an album that's definitely stuck with me. But what's cool about Beck is he's an artist that could pretty much do whatever he wants as far as musical style goes. So I think you're definitely seeing that with this album, Colors. It's definitely a very musically diverse album. Not only is there a multitude of instruments on the album as far as you've got acoustic guitars and electric guitars as you would expect, but also pianos, synths. You have some sampled vocals going on here. I guess even pan flutes and all sorts of instrumentation. And all these instruments lend themselves to a multitude of musical styles going on here. You have some upbeat, dance-infused type songs that would be perfect for pop radio, but you also have some, jazzier, bluesier kind of songs, some indie-sounding songs, some kind of psychedelic sounds. There's really a whole lot going on here. Some of it works more than others. I would say I really like a good half of this album. I'd say about half the album is very strong, while the other half just kind of feels like songs that are going through the motions. Starting off with the good, I think the song Colors gets the album off to a great start. It's just got a very infectious kind of groove to it, and the chorus is pretty cool because here is where you're hearing the use of sampled vocals to form the melody going on here. Overall, I found it to be extremely unique, but also just so catchy. It gets stuck in your head, very earwormy, and just overall, like I said, a very unique kind of melody, a unique use of instrumentation there. And then right away, Seventh Heaven takes the album to a completely different place almost. Yes, there's that sort of, dancey type beat to it, but the instrumentation besides that is very spacey, almost dreamlike. I like the layered sort of vocals going on here. And ultimately the guitars and the keyboards that are used here are both used, equally, and they just blend so well. And I kind of like how the song just sort of swirls up to this crescendo towards the end. The drums kick it in a little bit harder, and it's just slightly rising up, it feels like. I'm So Free is a pretty fun song. It's got a very, early 2000s alt-rock kind of feel to it. I saw I don't know if it was an article or a review, that was like, Beck's new album is perfect for a car commercial or a Target commercial. And when I heard that, I thought of this song right away, mainly because of that kind of chorus guitar riff going on there. It's just I don't know how to explain it, but it does just sound so perfect. It sounds like this song should be in a commercial. But overall, just another very catchy song, one that takes you on, multiple different kinds of trips throughout. You have that kind of dance feel to the drums, but there's a lot more going on with the instruments that changes it up. And ultimately, the first 4 tracks on here are just, straight hits in my mind. Dear Life being probably my favorite on the album. It's a piano-based kind of song, but again, it's got a nice beat to it, a nice groove. It really locks in on that groove there to create a sort of almost jazzy or bluesy-like feel to it. Definitely a Beatles kind of vibe going on this one. Specifically, it makes me think of a Paul McCartney type song. I also like the sort of guitar riff that just, dances along on top and just fits right into this groove very well. And also something I thought was cool, it doesn't happen on the entire album, it definitely happens here and a couple other tracks, but you kind of have this juxtaposition of a very happy sounding instrumental with, not so happy lyrics. This song is, it almost, because of the way the instrumental sounds, plays as an ode to a troubled life. Dear life, I'm holding on. Just, seems like someone who's very down on their luck, hasn't quite achieved what they would have wanted to achieve in life. And I just liked that juxtaposition of a sort of unhappy lyric with a pretty happy sounding instrumental. And then as far as great songs on here goes, I would say, those 4, but then also the song Dreams. I really like the guitar riff going on there. I like the swirling kind of keyboards, the way they come in the chorus and really take over the song. And again, it's just got a nice groove and nice feel to it. And for one reason or another, I just find those 5 songs to be far superior to the other 5 songs on this record. And I feel like the song No Distraction leaves a lot to be desired. It doesn't really go anywhere as far as this kind of, on the upbeat sort of guitar riff, a little like reggae-like, I guess. But it mostly just stays its same course throughout. It doesn't have a lot of the sonic texture going on in, the songs that I do prefer on here. The same can be said about Square One and Fix Me. It's kind of a shame. I do really enjoy when some of the best tracks are saved for last on an album. So unfortunately for me, this album just kind of fades out towards the end there with those last 2 tracks. Another 2 that just don't really seem to take off or go anywhere. Wow is an alright song. Not terrible by any means. It definitely is, hearkening back to his earlier sound here. The almost rapped, kind of spoken vocals going on here are very reminiscent of stuff like Loser, anything from that era. But even then, it's a song that's not really that long, but for me, it just kind of feels like it goes on forever. And I think that leaves Up All Night, which is a decent song again. It has a nice poppy kind of feel to it. Definitely fits in with some of the other tracks on this album, but it just doesn't have the same kind of energy, the same kind of focus. I think Colors and I'm So Free and Dreams to an extent just do a much better job with this type of song. So yeah, overall, Colors is a pretty good album. Some really great songs on here. Like I said, about half the album I really do love. But just the fact that the other half leaves a lot to be desired in my mind doesn't quite stack up to the rest of the songs on here. So for that reason, I'm going to give this one a 3 out of 5. I'd say those songs I really do like are songs that will stick with me and I'll be going back to, but this probably isn't an album that I'm going to be going back to and having to listen to the full thing. So yeah, let me know what you think of the album, what you think of some of the songs that, maybe I didn't care for as much, and don't forget to check out plenty of other reviews on the channel, and as always, don't forget to subscribe. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.